guys, it's your girl again, Bilikis. And I just want to say thank you to my fans all over the world. I got your messages. You guys are the bomb. And if you haven't joined her Facebook group, which is Sewing Innovations, it is a group where we put up illustrations about the questions people have on any type of outfit. You need to join that on Facebook. And I got so many requests to make an hairline gown or a princess that gown like the one I'm putting on. And I decided to go to the basics. So today we will be making a simple straight hairline gown. So let's get started, guys. So here I have my fabric. This will be something just to put straight down in the front panel. So first we have to determine my length, which will help us to determine the length of the fabric in which I would use. So now to determine the length of the fabric I'm going to use, first my length is 58. So I need 1.5 inch or 2 inches for the seam allowance, and then 1 inch allowance for the upper part. So that means I'll be needing a length of 61 inches of the fabric. So now my fabric is by 45, and it's not possible to get along this side. It's by 45. So that means I will be getting my 60 along this side. So what I have to do is to take my tape and get 61. So here I have 61. Then I'll fold over this way. Then I will cut off this because I'll be needing 2 of this. So now after cutting out the length, so here I have 61. So now I'll be folding on the wrong side of the fabric because I don't want my chalk to stay in the right side. So I'll be folding this way like I folded this. So this will be for the back piece and this will be for the front piece. Now I'll be drafting my pattern on the front piece in which I'll use to cut the back piece. So first I'll just draw about 1 inch line over the top area. After doing that, then I will insert my vertical measurements. So I'll start inserting my armhole. So I like to just measure it all down. So my armhole is 8.5. So this is 8.5 line. Then my waist is 16, which is this. And then my hip is 24, which is this, which is all I need. And then the length of my gown. So that is that for now. Then I will extend my lines. This line. And then my hip line. And for the bottom of the gown, this is my 2 inches seam allowance. So we move over to the upper part again. So you might be wondering how I got this 8.5 for the calculation of my armhole. It is my bust divided by 6 plus 1.5. Then we'll insert the 3 inch 8 inch standard. So here I have 3, here I have 8. Then I can draw my armhole line. So from the 8 inch point, I'll come down by 1 inch and join to the 3 inch mark to get my shoulder slope. After that, I can insert my shoulder measurement. So my shoulder measurement is 8.5. So here I have 8.5. Then I'll draw my armhole line. So, and that is it. So now I'll now draw my armhole curve. So for my armhole curve, I have to come down this way, measure this from this point in which the slope meets. Then I'll measure. Here I have 7.5. Then half of 7.5 is 3.5. 0.75. That's 3/4 inch. Then I'll come in by 3/4 inch again, which is here. Then I'll take my armhole off and then join this. Then draw a straight line this way to meet this point, the shoulder point. And that is it for the front armhole. And for the back armhole, all I have to do is just take this way and then join. And that is it for the armhole. Now let's insert our horizontal measurement. Sorry about that. So for my bust, divided by 4 plus half an inch, that is 11. My bust divided by 4 is 10.5 plus half an inch is, that will make it 11. So here I'll have 11 here. And then for my waist, divided by 4, I have 9. Here you can add some heels to it if you want it to be free, but I don't want mine to be free. I'll just make it 9. And on the hip, my hip is 44 divided by 4, that is 11. I'll just add a 1/4 inch east to this, which is 11/4, and that is it. And then I would like to have my seam allowance all at once. So I have 1 inch here also, and 1 inch here also. Then now, straight down for the lower parts, for the flare, it depends on what you want, but the minimum you could do is add 6 inches to your divided hip. You could do more, you could do 8, you could do 9, but the minimum you should add is 6 inches. So here my divided hip is 11/4. So when I add 6 to 11/4, I should have 17/4. But I want to do like 8 inches more. So let me go over it again. I said to get your flare here for the A line, you'll use your divided hip measurement plus 6, which is the minimum. So when I added 6 to my 11/4 here, I have 17/4. But I want to add 2 inches more, which will give me 18/4, 19/4. So here I'll be having 19/4 inches. And then I will add in my 1 inch seam allowance. And from here, I will have to make a curve because you don't want to have sharp edge at the end of your flare here. So all I'll do is to just take my hip curve ruler and join the curve here to the 2 inches seam allowance. Then I'll do something like this. You could just do a freehand from the original measurement, not the seam allowance. So now it's time to connect all our points together. So first, my bust, the original measurement, the seam allowance, and from the waist to the hip, I will use a hip curve. But if you don't have a hip curve, you can just use a ruler and then blend up the sharp edges. But since I have a hip curve, I'll just place it this way and then do something like this. Can you see that? And then also the seam allowance. The reason why it's better to use a hip curve is that you want to have this shapy A-line gown, which is always very, very tight. So now I'll just blend up these sharp edges, because that's the waist. So now from the waist down, I'll just use my T-square to draw a straight line from this hip down to the lower measurement. So like this, then I'll draw a straight line. Can you see that? And also the seam allowance. Can you see that? And that is it. We are finished. And that is the A-line. And can you see that? It's as easy as that. Then I will shape my neck. For the back, I'll just come down by 1 inch. for the back. That's the depth I want for the back, 1 inch. And then the wideness, I could do a 4.5 or 5 depending on what I want. But let me just do a 4.5. So remember, from here to here is 3 inches. So the remaining one out of the 4.5 will be 1.5. So my 1.5 will be along this curve. So I'll have something like this. So this is where my neck will start from. So I'll just join this way for the back neck. So that's the back neck. And for the front neck also, I'll start from here. So I want a depth of, let's say 4, maybe let me do a 4. So here I have 4. Then I'll just join it depending on the type of neckline. You can use your armhole curve to do that. And so that is it for the front. So now I will cut this out. But note, when you are cutting, cut the back armhole. Do not cut the front armhole, because we will use this as a pattern for the back piece. So now we'll start cutting from the bottom. Here, for the seam allowance, you cut straight this way. You see that? Yeah, then we go up from the, so now we are going through the hip, and then you go through here in a curvy manner. Make sure you do not have any sharp edges. So after doing that, then I will cut the back armhole. Remember, so then we go to the neck. Also for the neck, you have to cut out the the back neck, because we want to use it as what? As a pattern for the back piece. So remember, for the shoulder joining, you will need some seam allowance. So before cutting the neck, all I do is to just add 1/2 inch seam allowance to my shoulder measurement. So this is the shoulder line. So I'll just add 1/2 inch, go up by 1/2 inch. So this will be the sewing allowance. And also here, I will go up by 1/2 inch. So I have it here. Then draw a straight line this way. So this will be my shoulder joining area. Then I can cut out the back neck. Remember, the back neck. So now I'll place this. Can you see it? Can you see the hairline shape? That is it. So now I'll use this as a pattern for the back piece. So now I have placed my front panel on the back piece. So make sure this fold meets each other, because you don't want to have different measurements for both back and front. So please, you can do that with a pin. So now I'll start cutting. So now I'll start cutting. Do not cut through the front pattern. If you find this step difficult, you could just mark out with your tailor's chalk and then later cut out. So now on getting to the bust area, now we'll cut out the back armhole. Along with the seam allowance. Then the back neck. The back neck is done, but always notch your fabric at the waist, just the notch. So when you want to sew, this notch has to match up with each other, then you know you are on track. Then you go to the hip area also and notch. This will help you when you are sewing. So now we'll remove the back piece, and then we'll continue with the front piece. So now for the front piece, all I have to do is cut out the neck and the deeper armhole. So, and the armhole, and we are done. Can you see that? So the front pattern is ready, and also the back pattern. So that is just it on how to cut an A-line gown. So it's as easy as that. That is just it on how to cut a simple straight A-line gown. And if you could have it shorter, there's no problem about it. As a short gown, just add 6 inches or more to the divided hip measurement, and you have your A-line gown. And if my tutorial has been helpful to you, give me a thumbs up, share my video, and don't forget to subscribe and join us on Facebook Sewing Innovation. So catch you later.